Here is a variety of powerful spells that you can get early on in the game, several of which are not only cool looking, but deal great damage and might actually make you stop just spamming Glintstone Pebble. We're going to start off with Glint Blade Phalanx and the Carrion Slicer spell. The Glint Blade Phalanx will form a defensive arch of magic blades around you, which will then home in on enemies when you face towards them, while the Carrion Slicer forms a swift, sweeping, slashing magical sword which deals great damage and is incredibly fast hitting. It does great stagger on enemies, which means you can spam it on them to defeat them very quickly. First, we're going to need to get the Royal House Scroll, which is to the southeast of the starting area or to the east of the Agheel Lake South Grace Point. There you will find some ruins occupied by some soldiers. Even early game you can just run past these enemies and jump on top of this big stone ruin, and here you will see this lootable body which will give you the scroll that we need, as later on this will unlock these great spells for us. Next you want to go north of the area where we just collected the scroll. There'll be a bunch of plant enemies and then a small underground staircase. Go down here and through the fog wall to fight the Mad Pumpkinhead boss. This might seem daunting, but as you can see in the video, just summon your wolves and spam your Glintstone Pebble to kill it. If I could do this first try, I'm sure you can too. Just make sure to roll a lot when he gets close to you and keep spamming those spells. After you've defeated him, get the Grace Point and go through the door and you will find the Sorceress Selene. Then give her the scroll that we found earlier on, and now you're going to have access to a whole bunch of new spells. If we've helped you out, make sure to click like down below and subscribe for all the other Elden Ring videos on the channel. And next we're going to show you how to get Rock Blaster and Rock Sling. These next two spells will be somewhat daunting, but the reward is worth it. Rock Blaster will create a small Gurren Lagann style magic drill that deals close range damage and then smashes into the ground for big AoE damage, while Rock Sling is an awesome spell that summons 3 rocks that raise from the ground to then hurl at an enemy. This also deals great damage and does small AoE damage on impact. First we need to go to the Dragon Burnt Ruins in the same location you can see I go to down these steps, kill the giant rats, lift the door to reveal a treasure chest. This chest is actually a trap that we want to take advantage of, as it will teleport us to the very northeast of the map, which we're going to use as a shortcut to be able to get these 2 powerful spells earlier than we should really be able to. The enemies here might be a bit out of your level range, so you may need to just run through them like I do, but you can always try killing them if you want to. Don't worry if you die here, as you will respawn where the teleporter first made you appear, so keep trying until you get the spells. For the first spell we want to double back and jump on the roof of the little building we spawned in, and then run through the same way that I do up the ladder and grab the spell in the chest. I advise dying after grabbing it, as that will then teleport us back to the starting point, which is where we want to go anyway to get the next spell. From the starting point, run down this time and find the Point of Grace, and from here we can leave the cave, then follow where I go until you find the underground stairs, through the door and grab the spell in the chest. The next spells on this list will require you to have beaten Godric in the castle area to unlock the next zone. And the next two will be the Swift Glintstone Shard and the Great Glintstone Shard. The Swift Glintstone Shard is a great and cheap option to cast, and it's very fast to hit, much faster than the Glintstone Pebble, while the Great Glintstone Shard is more expensive to cast and fires a bigger projectile for even more damage. To get these spells, after you get to the next area after leaving the castle, you want to immediately go left, and near the Church of Irith you will see a graveyard that has the Academy Scroll in it. Either kill the mobs in the area and grab it, or just run in and grab it as fast as you can. Once you have it, travel back to Sorceress Selene, give her the scroll, and you will get access to these two new spell variants of the Glintstone. Next up are some exciting ones, the Carrion Greatsword and the Magic Glintstone Blade. The Carrion Greatsword is like an upgrade to the Carrion Slicer. It's a much bigger swing and bigger AoE for even more damage, and makes a great close range AoE option at the cost of more mana, so both are viable for different situations, while the Magic Glintstone Blade creates a sigil in the air that after a delay shoots a blade at your target. The damage is good, but you do have to plan for the delay. To get these, you have to be in the same area after the castle, where you find the Church of Vows here on the map. Within this church is a big turtle. Have a chat with him for a little bit and he will sell you two new spells. They're a bit pricey, but they're definitely worth it. I particularly love the Carrion Greatsword, so don't miss out on this one. Next up is Lorettas Great Bow, and out of everything on the list so far, this is probably the hardest to get, but if you have the spells already mentioned, you'll probably be fine. Lorettas Great Bow is a spell with long range and very high damage, and you can actually charge it to make the bow grow even bigger and deal even more damage. This is absolutely great for sniping enemies from far away. To the very northwest of the map, there is the Carrion Manor. This area is a bit difficult to travel through and may take a couple of tries to get to the top area, so make sure to get any grace points you find along the way. Once you're at the top area, there will be a large pool. Going into the water will trigger the Royal Knight Loretta to appear. Use your summons as a distraction and spam spells while dodging the magic used against you, and after you defeat this boss you will get Loretta's Great Bow spell. If you found anything in this video helpful, click like down below and let us know in the comments, and also check out the video on screen now or subscribe for the other videos on the channel. We have lots of Elden Ring videos and guides for you guys.